Good afternoon. I truly always believed that the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. In the world we live in, we become so accustomed trying to maintain a world built on an absolute narrative to where our best interests and beliefs have always been disregarded and we have yet to see change. So now I speak to y'all people as kings and queens because we all have a purpose and we share the same goals and wanting what's best for ours and building upon that, thus equating an abundant kingdom. But look here, imagine if we all come together on one accord to do the things to build one another up while thriving and enhancing. And then without realizing it, we become a more relentless and yet an unconquerable empire.
Yes, sir.
Now look here, things are going to get way rough before it gets any better. But a
Yep.
horizon of new opportunity and provision is surely on the way.
Talk to them folk.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all people here to a special edition of The Council.
You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the count. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council.
The theory of general relativity is what Einstein is famous for. In his calculations, he started to realize that the universe was not eternal. It had a beginning. Now this leads us to the law of causality. Everything that came to be needs a cause. So Einstein clearly knew that if the universe had a beginning, it needed a cause. Let's go to the Big Bang Theory. There was no space, no time, and no matter before the Big Bang. The universe emerged out of nothingness. What does that mean? Since it's impossible for the universe to be able to create itself because it didn't exist in order to be able to create itself, nature and the universe itself was just a big effect that was caused by, what are we left with? An extremely powerful, extremely intelligent, precise, given the precision that our universe was created with, personal entity that is capable of existing outside of time, space, and matter. That can't be nothing but God. And for people that are like, okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God? There's only one God. But there's a very famous astronomer named Robert Jastrow. His credentials as a scientist are impeccable. Being agnostic, he's not even a Christian. He said that all of the essential elements of the Big Bang Theory line up with biblical creation. Because this is how God works. God speaks something and then science runs to catch up with what he said. Science doesn't create anything. Science studies creation. Let me just answer a question that I always get. Who created God? What'd I say? I said everything with a beginning. Everything that came to be needs a cause. God didn't come to be. God is eternal, the way a lot of people thought the universe was until science disproved it. So God doesn't need a cause or a creator. He is the cause. The universe is the effect. Don't just take my word for it. Go look into it for yourself. One more thing. Evidence is not a substitute for faith. Following God is not a matter of evidence or proof. It's a matter of the will. You have to want to do it so you can have the peace that you're looking for. And if you don't want to make that choice, no amount of evidence is going to convince you to. You have to want to.
Yes, sir. What up, bro?
What up, bro?
What to do, Pimpin'? We out here.
We out here, man. Just living, trying to make it the best of it.
Yes, sir. The council back in effect, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Right here with your boy Deuce.
It's your boy Boulevard P, man.
Yes, sir. Episode 6 coming at y'all, baby. Right here, right now. Tune in to us. Holla at us. You know what I mean? TheKingsCouncil.com. Anywhere, all the time, 24/7. Get yourself caught up from episode 1. Matter of fact, the inauguration special to right now, y'all. What's going on, Boulevard?
Nothing, man. Just chilling, bro. Just taking it one day at a time, man. We got a real special episode for the people today, man.
Yeah.
Truly special.
That's definitely a fact. Yeah, we coming at realm with everyone on this one.
Definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been building up to get to this point since the jump. You know, we've given I feel like we've given our all to make this particular episode as best as it can possibly be. So we just hope that y'all stay attentive, y'all listen, and y'all open your ears, open your minds to some real things.
For real.
Yeah, man. So on the agenda, what we got, bro?
On today's agenda, I know we're gonna talk about more or less selling your soul in a sense. And you know what I mean? The main thing for this one, we're gonna talk about spirituality through and through, no matter what. You know what I mean? That's the whole main thing of it today. You know what I mean? Understanding that that side is real, and we're gonna take you into, you know, trying to identify using things spiritually with your third eye and seeing things spiritually with your third eye. So first, you know, we're gonna talk about how these youngins, you know, and more importantly, some of these stars out here seem to have sold they soul for a little piece of change. Like, you know, Britney Spears, I know is one big one. Then we're gonna talk about not only, you know, her, but you know, a few things that correspond to what you should be identifying in the spiritual world, how you don't get caught up into these certain predicaments where it seems like you're giving up your soul to sit here and live or maneuver or be amongst people, you know what I'm saying, normally. Um, we're gonna get deep, y'all. We're gonna get real deep in this one, you know,
Gonna
still
get real deep.
certain practices, identifying them, acknowledging them, and what certain truths and things are real in them. And then we're gonna talk about you know, this more or less war still on a more or less holy land that's been given in the world, that highest title of being on this land that is holy than everywhere else in the world. And then, you know, we're gonna get into some common sense, you know, never worldly conflicts and what they mean spiritually. And then I know you got some philosophies.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a good one, dog. Episode 6, we here for them people.
Episode 6, people. Let's get it started.
Take, dog.
All right, so first of all, shout out to everybody chasing their dreams. Shout out to everybody that's going after what they want to better themselves, better their family, better their lives. Um, this particular subject matter right here, is it's a tragic situation. Um, we can consider her the queen of pop right now. Was the 90s princess for the longest time. We talking about Britney Spears, you know?
Yeah.
Um, Britney Spears, man, is probably one of the most successful artists in our time, female artists of our time. And the crazy thing about her situation is there's a saying that I always grew up, you know, hearing my mom tell me. And it goes like this: everything that glitters isn't gold. And so Britney Spears has a beautiful life from the outside. She can make things look like, you know, everything is perfect and peachy, but deep down inside, what we have come to realize, this woman is suffering, tragically suffering. There is a particular term convey I'm about to butcher the heck out this word.
Take your time now.
Freaking conservatorship. Now, a conservatorship in this is these instructed bylaws or instructions that control what this woman can do and what she can't do. Who's in charge of this apparently is her father. And for a long time in the media, Britney's had trouble with staying afloat. Like, let's make this understood. Stars are Hollywood stars are no different from us. They all go through the same things that we go through, if not even more.
They all people at the end of the day.
They're all people at the end of the day, and they have feelings and they have emotions and things like that. And when you're being told of how to function, how to move, how to feel, what to speak, what to eat, even if you're allowed to have a kid or not, I think that is just tragically sad. And what we're beholding, ladies and gentlemen, is truly legal slavery by a contract.
Facts.
Now, what I've learned from this situation here is when it comes to the law, anything is possible. Because we could sit here and we can wonder how. But from what I'm gathering or how I look at things, the best way to explain it, you would see that when it comes to the law, it's truly somebody's perception. Excuse me. It's truly somebody's perception or interpretation of a different perspective. Those could come from the same school I come from. Go to law school, we both graduate, we both judges. I could think one way, he could think another way. But how I perceive the law, if it makes sense to me for it to be this way,
Yeah.
then it just works that way. And what we're looking at in Britney's situation is everybody's in agreement of her being in this legal slavery until the higher courts can object and say, nah, this isn't right. It kind of goes back to, for me, when I was speaking on my mental health, what was it, episode 5?
Yeah.
In that regard, I was telling y'all they wanted to give me meds, and I refused to take them. Anybody that really knows this stuff knows exactly what I was saying, but to those who really didn't understand that concept, sure, yeah, we can, charge that to me being strong mentally or whatever like that. But no, it was because I was not going to basically sign my life away. Because when you have an issue like that, it's kind of like your permanent record in school. It follows you everywhere you go. It's a transcript. And a lot of the accounts that have happened to her in the past have all led up to where she is now, where she's just trying to get out and trying to stay afloat. And the problem is, everybody's not who they were years ago. It doesn't matter who caused it. It doesn't matter who started it or who stirred up that trigger to make the person impulsive to maneuver the way they did. It's the simple fact that throughout the years, a person can change and evolve, and you're holding them to certain constraints because of what they've done, that's ignorance. That's demeaning, degrading change to a person's soul in their life. Diddy said it best. What's your soul worth when you get into this? What is it that you want to accomplish? Okay, everybody, like I stated when I opened this up, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to make sure they take care of their parents, make
Right.
sure that their family's set. But let me ask y'all this: is it truly worth it?
Right. Right.
Is it truly worth it to do all that to lose yourself?
Yeah.
What gain? What's that saying? What does it profit a man to gain the world, but to lose his own soul? That's something to think about. And right now, this isn't about demeaning Britney or putting Britney down. This is about Shawty needs help. Shawty's trying to escape.
Right.
She's a mother. And she has to answer to people like she's a child still. I listened to some of her remarks in this testimony that she was making to the judge, man, and you can hear the pain in her voice.
Mm.
It's a sad, tragic thing that we're going through, people, and I just want to throw this out here. If they can do that to the princess of pop, the queen of pop, whatever, they can do it to somebody who's up there. Imagine what they could try to do to people like us who don't have those accolades.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta believe that. Can get you for anything at that point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So with that being stated, I just want to end this by saying free Britney Spears right now. Free Britney Spears. Our thoughts and our prayers are with her and her family right now going through this ordeal because this is tragic and this is terribly sad. Shout out to all the Britney fans. Shawty needs help, man. And she's probably not one of the only ones that are going through something like this. She's just bold enough and strong enough to actually speak out on it. So we have to applaud her in that regard for just doing that.
You gotta be strong in that situation.
Yeah,
That's a hard thing to get through right there.
absolutely.
You know? Definitely. I mean, but it comes to seeing that it is evil in that. I mean, you know what I mean? The industry, period. Knowing the higher ups, you know, the principalities that may be in hand. Those are the things to take in consideration when it comes to that. Of course, she was young, so she didn't know any better.
Right.
But just seeing that that's pure evil trying to over that woman's whole life without any regard of what's hers or her liberties to do whatever. You know what I mean? And that's a sad situation, but
Terribly sad.
definitely hope she can pull through as before, you know, so many times.